All right, so we're up at Strawberry this morning, and I know a question that a lot of people have is, hey, can I catch kokanee without downriggers? And I'm gonna tell you, yes, you can. We actually, we're gonna fish 2 poles without downriggers. I do have 4 downriggers on my boat, and I do highly recommend them because you can fine tune a lot more with them. But I also throw out 2 extra lines usually. So I've got 6 lines out, and 2 of them I do without downriggers. Our first kokanee we actually had on this morning was without a downrigger. Oh. So the way I rig it up, I'll show you the whole setup. And this was the pole that actually got the first fish. We have a dodger on, and then we're fishing. This is a grape soda shrimp, and I tip it with a goat maggot, the pink goat maggots. And then what we use are these clip weights. So basically it's a clip, and with a little cannonball weight. You can get the clips and the weights on either eBay or Amazon. And right now the fish are about in the 30-foot depth range. And so to get to that range with a 3-ounce weight, I'm gonna put my line out about 50 feet. If you have a line counter, that's a bonus. On this, I purposely didn't use line counters on this so I could show you how to do it. This, if I go back and forth, each time is about 10 feet is what I figure. So you're gonna have to just figure out the best way to do it, or I go straight and then I do a pull and I figure that's 10 feet. So I'm gonna go out about 50 feet, about 25, 30 now. So I'm gonna do 2 or 3 more pulls. And I'm gonna attach my weight. And the important thing on these weights is they have a little nub halfway down, and you wanna make sure your line is clipped under that nub. If not, you will lose your whole setup, which I have done before. This one is actually an older one, so the pad's worn out. So a little trick you can do if,
we got a fish on
right there.
Oh, we got a bite.
You can do a little slip knot and then slide that around that nub, and that'll hold that in place. And then I'm just gonna go another 50 feet back. It's about 30, 40, 50, okay. And we'll just set that there, and we're fishing. So I'm gonna show you guys just a little bit closer on these weights, how I put them on to keep them in place if your pad's worn out. So it's just a really simple slip knot. I'll just do that again. I just loop it and then grab the line right here. So it's gonna slip, it's gonna just come undone when you take that weight off. Hook it on right there, and then just like that. That way it'll keep it in the exact spot that you want. It's not gonna slide down, and you can reuse these clips if they start to get worn out. So today, if you watch the video, my 2 yellow poles are the ones that we've got weights on. Actually, do we have 2 yellow poles? Where's my other yellow pole?
No.
So this yellow pole, and it's gonna be this black pole, are the ones that have the clip weights on. So we'll see how they do today. We've got 1 so far on them. So another question that I've gotten a lot is how do you run 6 poles without getting them all tangled? So what I've found that works the best for me, I know other people have other ways to do it, but on my 2 back downriggers, I run a fairly short setback, only about 10 to 15 feet. I found that as long as you're under about 20 to 25 feet of water, having that sort of setback, you're still gonna catch fish. So these ones are really short. I usually run these 2 as my deepest ones. So right now I'm between 35 and 45 feet on those two. On my side downriggers, I'm running about a 40 to 60 foot setback, and right now I'm at about 27 feet on both of these. And then the ones that we were using the weights were 50 feet clipped on with a weight and another 50 feet. And I've got one of them positioned in the middle, and then my other one is kicked off to the side here. So I've found that that works fairly well to me to try to prevent tangles, and that's what we're doing today. So we caught about a 32 inch. What is that? It's more of like an orange shirt trout. I think that's a first. Let's see what we got. Who's gonna wear that?
That one's big.
Oh, there's bugs all over it.
As you can see, fishing for kokanee without downriggers is possible, and using clip weights can be a very effective method for accomplishing this. In that video, we saw several fish strike and get caught on clip weights. In fact, we had several others that we didn't get on video that day. I would say our overall land rate was much higher using the clip weights than using traditional downriggers. And why is that? I've got a couple of theories on that. First of all, a little bit about kokanee. They have very soft mouths. So when you get a kokanee, it's very easy to rip the hooks or the lure right out of the mouth. When you're using traditional downriggers, you get a fish that strikes, your pole starts dancing. All of a sudden you have to run up to the pole. You try to get that line out of the clip as easily and as quickly as you can. Doing that, you flip it out. You have to reel down 10 or 20 feet of line, and then very carefully get the tension on that line without letting it be too slack. If it's too slack, kokanee are head shakers, and they'll throw that hook right out of their mouth. So it can be very tricky using downriggers to successfully release it out of the clip and land that fish. On the other hand, using those clip weights, you can very easily see when the fish hits, your pole dances. All you have to do is start reeling in and carefully keep tension on that line. The only tricky part is just removing that weight as you're reeling the fish in. So another question is, what size weight should you be using? As a general rule of thumb, if you're trolling at kokanee speed, which is about 1.2 to 1.8 miles per hour, you're using about 8 to 12 pound test line, and you're using the 50-50 rule that I showed, which is put 50 feet of line out, clip the weight on, and then put another 50 feet of line out. You will be, with a 1 ounce weight, about 10 feet down, plus or minus. With a 2 ounce weight, 20 feet down, 3 ounce weight, 30 feet down, and so on. So that's a really good general rule of thumb on what size weight you should be using. So to get those weights, I have good news. I contacted one of the resellers that I've used in the past that sells on eBay. I've had good success from buying from him, and he's agreed to put together a starter package, especially for kokanee addicts, that will include a 1, a 2, a 3, and 4 ounce weights, an assortment of those. And that should give you everything that you need to get started. As far as the clips, I haven't found a great source on those at this point. I've just ordered those on either Amazon or eBay. If someone watching this video, if you're a supplier of those clips and would like to partner with me, I would love to do that. I appreciate you watching this video. Feel free to leave me any comments with suggestions, or if there's any other content you would like to see, I'd be happy to create a video on that. Happy fishing and tight lines.